Beth.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
Well, I'm all right, but it's horrible weather. What's yours like? We've just got rain.
Horrible.
Is it
Yeah,
raining?
raining. All the roads are flooded. It was so dark this morning. My daughter was like, "Why are we going to school at nighttime?" It's morning, but it's dark. And she's like, "But that's night." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I don't. Yeah." hmm
And your sleep pattern changes. You just don't want to get up, do you? It's
No.
like, oh, it's miserable here. Yeah, we're exactly the same. We got 6 inches of snow on Sunday, and now
Wow.
it's just a sloppy mess out there. So
Hmm. We've had no snow. We don't get much snow here in Northern Ireland because of the
oh
trade wind or something. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Well, anyway, it's we've got to get through it. Get
It
to
is what
May.
it is.
And then pray for that summer that never happens.
So let's look at
Um,
Bitcoin.
yeah, it's at that level, isn't it?
It's this level back from this redistributional area here, which was January to April 2022. So yeah, it was like, what is it, like 44-ish level. It's kind of stalling here, and we're just going to see what happens next.
Yeah. And in the last video, I said that's where I'm going to take some profits. Do you want to ask me if I've took any profits?
Yes, whenever my chart decides to come back. Come back.
Well, obviously the chart knows I've not. So yeah, my target was 43, just over, and I was going to take 5% off. Have I, Eck?
No.
Just not do. I'm just gonna keep it and add. That's what I'm gonna do. I just don't know if we're gonna get like a major dip from this.
Yeah. I am finding more and more as time goes on that I can't sell my Bitcoin. I don't even want to trade Bitcoin. I just want to keep my Bitcoin. And it's because I just feel more and more that even just the way this whole price action has been this whole of this year, I just feel like, is Bitcoin going to start behaving more like a stock, just slowly climbing up, and less like a volatile crypto asset, and if that happens, I may be sorry I sold so early. So I haven't added since down here.
Me, that's
Like the
same
last
with
area,
me.
or even down here, actually, maybe was the last time I added. But definitely there's any significant pullback, I'm definitely going to add.
Yeah.
So what do you see next then for Bitcoin in terms of price action? What are we at now? Is it like it's in mid-December? Santa
Yeah.
rallies, is it? Does the Santa rally happened?
It was like it went ding at 12 o'clock, didn't it? And then it went woof. It were like,
Yeah.
we're waiting, we've got to wait till December. And it were like literally clock went 12:01 and off it went. It was just madness. It was like it had to like happen. They had to wait till December for it to move. What is it?
16%
Ooh,
in a few days, in a week, maybe. Let's look at the weekly. This weekly candle is nuts.
beautiful. Oh, I mean,
Yeah, so
when
the
you look,
weekly, like, look at all these green candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles in a row. That is very unusual.
it's very bull run.
It's very bull run.
It is very bull run.
Yeah.
It just looks like the beginning, like when you look back to the beginning of that parabolic move, it just looks identical.
I know.
The rise up, retest, off you go.
Yeah. But what I find a little bit confusing about that is that that means we're here in a bull run, you know. So that's sort of what's confusing me, because it feels a little bit early. But it is what it is, because we just have to go by what the charts are telling us rather than any predetermined idea of when the bull run is. This is what I'm sort of finding a lot, is people are going by the 4-year cycle, the halving event, that there's this predetermined idea of when the bull run is and when the bull run will finish. And more and more, I'm just feeling like I just need to not think like that anymore, and I need to not go by dates and times and years and this happened then, because I just feel like at some point, you know, like all models are great until they don't work anymore. You know, at some point is the model gone, and I think it's better to already have it in your head that maybe it is already gone now, rather than it is definitely going to be here. We're definitely in a 4-year cycle. We're definitely in year two of a 4-year cycle, whatever it is. And depending on where you count from the top, to count from the bottom. So if we are here, we only have this left. It's only like 6 months or something, you know. So I am keeping a very open mind as to what this bull cycle is going to look like. And also, like if you look at stocks from, say, like the financial crisis, 2008 financial crisis, it just went up. It was like little bricks. You know, is something like that going to happen? You know, I don't know. So that's what I'm saying is I find this quite confusing, you know, because this looks nothing like this. Yeah. What do you think?
I think I see a strong similarity from the beginning of the last bull run to the beginning of this bull run. To me,
here?
I see it.
Yeah,
I think it's like it down from the you know, the surge up to the rejection to back to, and then now I think we're there exactly where you've got your.
You think here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
So let's just measure. Let's take it from here. How long it was to this first peak? 147 days. Which isn't long.
But the bulls
are 4 months, 5 months.
In cryptology, the bull run is never as long as the bear. Well, it hasn't been. The bull has always been rapid and just volatile. And then it goes, and with the alts even quicker. So the time that it takes for it to get to your goal has always been extremely short, a quarter of the time that it's took to accumulate.
Do you think by next summer the crypto market will have peaked?
If it's anything like the last, I mean, I've been through, this is my third. If it's like the last two, then yes, then it will. If it's going to mirror the last two, yes, it will be very, very quick. But like I said last time, this is different this time. People are seeing Bitcoin as a totally different entity, from something that you make massive cash from very quickly and you get out. It's got a use, and well, the use is now apparent. So I can't say that is what is. It happened last time and it happened the time before, but I can't say that it's going to happen this time, because I don't know how people are perceiving the value of Bitcoin, and if they are wanting it as an asset that they hold for, you know, some people might be looking at this as their pension fund. This might be a 10-year to 20-year investment for some people now. So you won't have to look what the big boys are doing. They want to get in on this asset, and why? Because they can make money by, you know, the man, you know, who doesn't know how to invest. They just put their money in with these people and then hope for like a 10% return. And it's people who, you know, BlackRock and the likes of them, they know that this is if it were a 10% return, they wouldn't be interested. They know it's going to be massive, this. So it's very...
What I want to do, sorry, I just want to measure time. Because if I just go from this bottom, say, let's go from here, right, to the first peak, because there are 2 peaks, right? It's the first peak. Yeah. That was 868 days. If I go from here.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go from here, because I do think this was actually the start of the accumulation. This was FTX. So I think a lot of people say this is the bottom. It is the bottom. I do think this was actually the start of the accumulation.
Yes, yeah.
So far we are at, sorry, so we're at 532, whereas that was 868. So 868 brings you over here to like the end, a year from now. This is what I mean about the time. And that's only the first peak. Then we had another peak. So I actually feel it's not as clear now. I'm not clear on where we're at in the cycle. I do think we're early bull, but this isn't early bull. This was near the end of the bull. This is like mid bull. So this is more like over here. But see, here they had this 300% rally. And then we had this long accumulation. We had COVID here. And then it went off because we had all the money printing and everything, you know. So this is like a much shorter time, but yet Bitcoin's gone up. This is what I mean. I feel totally confused about where we're at, because it's,
yeah, I understand.
Strong, yeah. It's strong, you know, given like all the uncertainties in the world and inflation and interest rates and everything, is like what's going on. But I think it's really extremely bullish for Bitcoin and for the crypto space. But I just sort of feel like maybe the time has come where we can't really rely anymore on the past cycles to tell us what's going to happen in the future. All we can do is go by the charts and go by our indicators to tell us what to do.
Yeah. And look at the histo, like it's not even started. If we think we are where I think we are, it's not even started. It could be a much slower growth.
Yeah,
there's not as much Bitcoin available. It could be, you know, I know we've started. We're out. You know, the horse has bolted. But it could be that we have like a little bit more of a wavy,
yeah,
climbing the stairs type.
Well, I get out my McDonald's chart.
Yeah.
Here's McDonald's. Whatever you think about McDonald's, I've never eaten McDonald's in my life, so I have no interest. But this is what I've been saying earlier. What you've just been saying as well is Bitcoin going to do something like this, where it just keeps moseying on up, as I say, just keeps getting up, you know, with no long protracted bear market conditions, you know, just up, then consolidation, up, then consolidation. This, you know what, this kind of reminds me of the last cycle of Bitcoin as well. This part, you know, this bumbling along, then bang, then up. It reminds me of the last cycle of Bitcoin. But if you see here, it starts up, and then what happens is it keeps butting its head up against resistance. It doesn't really properly come down up. It's more like butting its head, and then it pokes through, and again butts its head, then up. It keeps butting its head against resistance. It's not making. If I just get my drawing tool here. It doesn't, you know, it's more interested in the resistance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It squeezes every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like making higher lows.
Yeah.
Against resistance, like you said, being squeezed. So that is what here didn't even, you know.
I mean, you've got to. That's obviously a COVID spike, isn't it? That next.
This is a COVID spike.
Yes, so just ignore that.
Yeah, that's COVID spike. And it was immediately snapped up at 43%, you know, which is nothing in terms of crypto, but these are all much, much lower. You know, that's 15%, 18%. Yeah. It is a bit more volatile here, but this was, you know, this recent bear market. And even then, it didn't really, I mean, I know this is McDonald's, it's not the same kind of asset, but it's more to illustrate what we're saying about, is Bitcoin is going to start behaving like this? We don't know. We're just hypothesizing, but is it going to start doing this? And so if it is, we need to like rethink our strategy, how we're going to trade that, you know, be open-minded to that happening. And yeah, it also just is to point out that it butts its head against resistance. It doesn't come back down and sit on support. It might bounce off a little bit, just keeps butting its head up. So it's like, it's climbing the stairs, but in a weird sort of way. It's more like butting heads against ceilings rather than climbing the stairs. Like you sat on a stair, like it's more like butt your head in the ceiling and the next ceiling and the next ceiling. So it's just hypothesis, but I am very open to the possibility of something like this happening. Like we go back here, this was 2003. It was 20 years of this, and it's still going up.
And it's, you see, it's the business model. I mean, McDonald's is some people's Bitcoin, you know. They cannot live without a McDonald's. Like it's the growth and the business model is absolutely superb. You know, if you want to have a McDonald's franchise, you are made. They look after you, and it's a cracking company. I wish that 20 years ago I'd have put my money into this for my pension. I wish I had. And then forgot about it, because it's just wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful growth.
I think it is. I think it really is good to just bear it in mind. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen. How do I know it's going to happen? How do you know it's going to happen? We don't. We're just hypothesizing. And also, it is similar to what Bitcoin has been doing. You know, and is Bitcoin going to start doing that here? And then go up to this level, do the same thing. But everybody is expecting, most people, I can't say for everybody, most people are expecting this.
Are they?
Yeah. You know, and then expecting this again, you know, where you just get, because this is what happened here, you know, you get these huge volatile moves, but that is not been happening this year. So who knows? We're just,
I think more of a ping pong between them two lines there.
Everybody, I say everyone, it's very common. I'm hearing, even in our group and other groups and YouTube, 48k. So what will happen to Bitcoin at 48k?
Yeah.
It'll go, as far as I'm concerned, it either will not make 48k this rally, or it'll go beyond 48k, because it just doesn't do what it's told, you know. And like here, everyone had their eye on this 44. Remember that? And then it went up and it was like, yeah. And then so I think it could do something similar, where, you know, maybe it goes beyond, maybe it goes up 50, 51, and then maybe comes back a bit. I'm really, obviously I can never know, but I just am not convinced about a huge rally up and then a huge retrace back down to 30 again. I think it's less probable. Not, you know, there are macro factors taken into consideration, you know, that can happen, you know, obviously, but as everything stays stable and then inflation continues to kind of go down, like it's the US inflation rate, I think it's 3 now, it's very close to the 2, and even there's a lot in the Eurozone, a lot of inflation down the Eurozone is now under 2. The UK not doing so well, but it is coming down, like, significantly. It's rapidly coming down now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, for me, I don't mind if it stays up or it comes down. I'll just buy it when if it does have a big crash, which that's what I would consider it to be, if it goes back down to, what is it, about 32?
Yeah. 30.
I'll just buy more.
Me too. Definitely buy more. Do I wish I bought more here? Yes.
Yeah.
This is, you know, classic SR flip. Resistance, support up. And this is it is a mammoth rally. in fairness, from here. 77%. I did not know.
Ooh, heck.
Wow. Oh gosh, I didn't even pay attention to that.
It's big, isn't it?
So it is quite a big rally. This is in the weeklies. I think it looks, you haven't taken into consideration that it has consolidated here quite a bit. So will it again? Let's go back to the McDonald's chart, you know. Side up. Side, you know. Now McDonald's, it was a slow gradual increase, you know, and it is to go back down to this very, very bottom. Well, yeah. Nearly 2,500% over 20 years. Now I do think Bitcoin would likely do a lot better than that over the time period. But yeah. So what do you any closing words for Bitcoin?
I'm just hanging in there, and it's whichever way it goes, it's good for me, because if it drops, I have got some cash to put in, and if it carries on, then I just keep holding. And I don't want to sound lame saying that, but that is my plan, and I'm sticking to it. And if we do get you obviously feel wobbly if you see, you know, your portfolio, it's growing, everybody's hopefully growing very, very nicely now, but for me, it's just a case to add a little bit more, because I don't think we have got many more opportunities. If we do have, I only see that we could have one more opportunity where we will have a good buying opportunity. That's my final words. I think if it's going to drop, then the last time that you will get an opportunity to buy.
I just want to point out one thing, which is that, you know, the whole Santa rally thing, there can be a rally before Christmas, that it is very common to have. This is like the end of November here, coming up into, it's like 13th of December, it did rally. I think it was like 10% or something, and then it did retrace the way back down again. This was harsh time. This was like deep depression. Maybe it's not about myself. You know, like if you remember last Christmas, like stocks were dead, crypto was dead, like there's just nothing happening. Remember, like Bitcoin just went sideways like for weeks, nothing, then bam. So this could actually be something like that, where, you know, it may just jolt up again, and then there might be retrace back down to sort of for these levels. That actually would be very common. And then, but come January, then you have a big move. So I'm not, of course, you can never say what's going to happen, and history doesn't always repeat, but at the same time, that has actually happened quite a few times. You get the Santa rally, big retrace, and then you have the big move in January. So something to watch out for. Don't go to sleep at New Year's. Come back. Because the markets move in January.